Hello guys, it's me Stark, and how blessed are we that we can actually watch such great games. I did found here a very interesting game. I don't know the result yet, and we are actually talking about Draken versus Hera. So let's present both players. Hera, I guess he doesn't need introduction, but in case he does need, he is the top 1 player of Age of Empires and has won all the previous S tier tournaments from the previous 2 or 3 years, so he is like the undisputed top 1, losing only smaller events to other players, which he obviously told everyone on interviews that, well, it is not his priority and he doesn't prepare enough for those events. So there we have in the other side Draken. Draken, so as or Drakont or the lizard as some would call him, is actually an excellent player here, and he is specialized on arena. So he's one of the so-called clowns here. So he is a very experienced arena player, plays very well on these kind of maps, and knows exactly what he is doing. Let's see here, and they are actually playing a Bohemian War. So probably someone picked the Bohemians, the other just mirrored their choice, and they are going for it. Let's see which approaches and strategies those guys are gonna use here on the Bohemian. Starting with Draken, which is making a chicken funnel here. In case you don't know this technique, it's basically the technique where you do add this line of buildings there, pointing towards your town center, and you actually split your chicken or your hares here. In the half, both are gonna try to go towards the other side, and when they cannot, they are just gonna go all the way around, funneling them into the TC, making it possible for you to eat those hunt here without having to use way too much here wood on a meal, for example. So that's basically the chicken funer. And obviously later you can just delete those foundations and get a cashback on your wood investment. So this is what Draken is doing. Hera is going for the same stuff here. As you can see, he's chicken funeling here by using some palisade gates, which can later delete and get the refound as well. But as you can see, Hero is even trying to force the rabbits to go a bit faster by kind of luring them with the scout. Honestly, I don't think that's truly necessary. If you do set up the chicken funnel early on, like Draken did, you can just use your scout for elsewhere. For example, in the center to scout out for the relic positions. So Draken already know about 3 relics position, while Hera hasn't even gotten out of his base. So that's why knowing these small details can actually make all the difference on the game. Going out, we can actually see that Draken has 4 villagers on the wood. He's even investing to a secondary lumber camp, so he's going for a slower build. When you go for 2 lumber camps during the Dark Age, you are actually investing so that your economy is going to be better later on, but the price to pay when you go for such approach is having a slower uptime towards the next age. As for Hera, as you can see, he's playing with like 7 here on the wood, single lumber camp, and this means that he'll probably be going for a faster time. To be very honest, guys, I think that Hera is actually gonna lack some food here. I would say that the perfect balance for for him would be like 14 to 15 on food. So he's probably gonna have to buy some food in order to make up for it. Let's see. So he's going for market and blacksmith. He does need 2 buildings in order to go to the next stage. As I said, there is a small flaw here on his build, so he'll most likely not gonna be able to have enough food. He's probably gonna have to buy some food. He just bought 100 food. He might even consider selling, guys, more stone to go all in here and buy more food. Damn, that's not good. That's not what you want to do here on the game. Small or little flaw here on the eco. Is he gonna buy it or is he gonna idle the TC? Yeah, in order to fix it, he's kind of idling the TC a bit and force dropping until he reaches the 800 mark. Yeah, not the best situation honestly, but still, he's going for a very fast uptime towards the next age. As for Draken, Draken has invested here into a more solid build during the other age, and he's actually going for barracks now. So barracks, stable, and blacksmith. This basically means that Draken will actually be able to go for light cavalry opening or scout opening, one of the most classic here for arena. And there you go. double lumber camp, investing into a lot more farms, and now it's the time to see what are the next steps for each one of the players. I think that Hero can either go for a booming approach or try to play with monasteries. He's not sending forward his units and he's just accumulating a lot of wood, as you guys can see. So he's actually going for a boom, and oh my goodness, he did lose his scout, and that's huge. Losing the scout and allowing Draken to go inside will mean that Draken will have access to all the information he needs. For example, the information that Hira has only 4 villagers on the gold, that he's going for a single monastery, and that his game plan is probably going for a few monks and trying to snipe out some relics. With the addition of those scouts, Draken can actually have the map control, and thanks to the map control, one of the immediate actions that he might have is to add a monastery and start collecting the relics. Let's advance these a bit. There we go, monastery as soon as he can, and he has started to make monks and he will be able to collect the relics. He's obviously going for the relics that are closer to Hira to deny him the access to collect such relics. And he's already investing here now, guys, in extra town centers to try and catch up on the booming. As for Hira, he's just sacrificing here oh my goodness, he's actually sacrificing the... He's sacrificing the relics and trying to go for an early booming, so double 2 TCs, making views, has no other upgrades other than the feudal age ones, and even started to get a relic here, and with the help of Spearman, he was able to get at least 1 relic. Not bad. At least he's not gonna give all the 5 relics to his nemesis. And Draken is slowly collecting the relics while adding now new town centers. Honestly, I would say that Draken build and strategy seems a bit more solid here. He did went for the light cavalry so that he could get the relics. Light cavalry do have bonus attack and conversion resistance versus monks, which means that they can actually snipe enemy monks. See? The two cave archers just dived in, killed the monks, and got away before they got killed by the spearmen. So getting relics without a proper guard, or even when you have a proper guard, seems like such a big challenge versus the Bohemian. And now we can see Draken going for even further booming approach here. 3 TCs, spamming, and he has access to 4 relics, which will in the long run be one of his winning conditions. I think that in the arena, if you do get all the 5 relics, you have a great winning condition. If you do get 3 and your opponent get 2, it's like even, and a 4-1 relic is a very good advantage to have in the way that Draken's having. Here is rapidly booming, going for 4 town centers. Draken's focusing here for now only with 3, but he's getting way closer to clicking to the Imperial Age because he has, of course, only 3 TCs. His resources are looking very good. Hero resources are not bad either. He might actually be able to reach Imperial Age at a similar time, and we'll start opening some small villager lead thanks to his 4th town center. Will Draken invest into a 4th town center? No, he'll play with only 3, and now Draken is adding up archer ranges where he can actually go for a unit of his choice. I would say that playing skirmishers is not bad, playing hand cannoneers is not bad either. Those are probably the best units to play as Bohemian. Here is also going for the archer ranges, so now players should go for an opening unit and later aim to go for extra stuff. Castle position is very important here as well, so I'm expecting Draken to drop some castle here in the center of the map, trying to control it, and I want to see if Hero will just try to drop a castle in front of his base to have all this space safe for him to keep his eco and his production, or if he's going for a more defensive approach, just adding a defensive castle. So let's see how both players are gonna play it. By the way, very interesting fact about Draken, he's actually researching treadmill crane. This is very unusual to see, but treadmill crane increases the speed which you do your buildings. It's an it's only wood and stone upgrade that you can make on the university, and it will basically boost the building speed of your villagers. So basically you're buying your Spanish bonus by doing this. It's very good for the Imperial Age when you are actually gonna make multiple units and might actually have to rebuild some of your killed builds, so very interesting and not that expensive. And guys, look at this economy approach, because Draken is already going for the powerhouse from the Bohemians, the most expensive upgrade and unit that you can do with the civilization, the Halfnis. Halfnis is the elite version of the bomber cannon, which only the Bohemians have access to, and that's one of the things that makes them truly fearsome here on Imperial Age. Hera is just going right now for Elite Skirmisher opening. a very defensive castle. And meanwhile, Draken is going for monks and he is upgrading and already starting to make his halfness. Of course, I'm still expecting him to do the silver crown from the Bohemians, which called Wargenberg tactics or something like that. I don't know the correct pronunciation. We are gonna access this later. It's the one that here is doing here. Wagenburg tactics. I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly. If you're German, I'm so sorry, man. You are probably mispronouncing a lot of Portuguese words and even Portuguese names as well, my friends. It happens. But if you know the correct one, just send me in the commentaries and I'm gonna try to improve it. And there we go. Draken already has the halfness and that's under 30 minutes. That's insane. 4 relics, map control, eating the extras, controlling the map with multiple castles, having access to the best unit of the Civ. Honestly, he's just placing the top 1 of the game into a very, very uncomfortable position. And there we can see here we're going for other upgrades, such as Siege Engineers. Siege Engineers is very important when you go for some kind of cannon-oriented gameplay, because it boosts your the range of your cannons by 1, and it also increases the damage that your siege units do against buildings. So basically your bombard cannons will have 1 extra range, the same as Draken here, he already has the upgrade, and they are also going to have more damage versus building. As you can see, once the halfness are on the field, it becomes very difficult for the ranged units to have some quality on their lives here. And Bohemians are not known for having specifically any good cavalry, so sniping this unit is gonna be a challenge. Hero will probably have to try an out-micro Draken on the halfness battle, which is exactly what he's going for, halfness for both. So far, Hero doesn't have all the upgrades, and neither has Draken. Hero already has the extra speed, but Draken is about to get it as well. He's upgrading the Wagenburg tactics. So these guys are the full upgrades for the Bohemian. Wagenburg tactics, halfness and siege engineers. With the combination of these 3 technologies, you will have access to the most fearsome siege unit of the current meta. And this can basically wins you any Imperial Age confront. Of course, you don't have to land the shots. Draken is already upgrading his monks. He probably wants to go for redemption and try to get some conversions. Here is trying to snipe using the skirmishers, but as you can see, the castles give such a good shield here for Draken to advance and shoot whatever he wants. Great army control for both players. Hero is very good with the dodges here on both skirmishers and halfness, and he's actually trying to get this castle down before it goes up. And well, Draken wasn't aware of this and the castle is going down. Hero has multiple archer ranges, same for Draken, but as you can see, Draken hasn't yet chosen to do any single unit other than the halfness. He only has started now to add a few hand cannoneers. The halfness are just eating out the enemy army. He's actually now going, guys, for the elite Hussite wagon, which is the unique unit from the Bohemians, a chunky wagon that acts like a gunpowder siege unit and actually absorbs a lot of damage from enemy units such as the skirmishers, arbalests. So it's actually a small medieval age tank. This can actually be used to provide some small front line of your army to advance. But to be honest, I don't know how much these elite Hussite wagons are actually gonna do here, because, well, guys, they are a siege weapon, which means that they do die to the halfness. I think that the halfness maker is actually what's gonna determine the winner of this confront. As you can see, both players are just trying to shoot each other, and damn! Hero is having a relatively small success here, sniping several units from Draken. So he's just winning the game here on the mechanic and the army control, because Draken is doing all the correct moves. I mean, he's taking the extra golds, he has more relics, he has upgraded the units faster, but he does have something on his mind here, because he's actually adding here the Hussite wagons. Another not so talked about Imperial Age upgrade is guilds. Guilds will actually easing up or loosen up a bit the taxes on the market, which will allow you to trade resources on the market on a more effective way. And of course, on an Imperial Age game like this, if you actually sell your resources faster than your opponent, you are most likely going to have some small success here by having extra gold. Draken is also investing into the architecture and masonry on his university in order to boost a bit the— oh my god, what a fight! There comes the full Bohemian composition here with a lot of wagons. They are pushing back the enemy, but as I said, guys, they are easily destroyed by the Halfnies. They go down easily here with a few shots. So not the best unit to have. Honestly, every unit gets destroyed by the Halfnies, but the Bohemian wagons are very difficult to maneuver. They are not so fast. They are a tank, but they are a tank that can be killed by an anti-tank unit, which is the Halfnies. Both players are just getting into a very World War I scenario here, with a lot of gunpowder on both sides, and neither of them can advance big distances here. This is becoming very weird to see, guys. This Bohemian game is one of the best ones to see all their weapons being used here. Here is pushing back with some Halfnieces. Draken is trying to take down this castle. That's a very strategical position for Hero, because this castle is actually allowing him to control these goats. But right now, Draken is the one pushing, and Hero, guys, might get out of gold. If you take a look, he's almost out of gold himself. He only has these 2 tiles and a single relic. So I think that Draken is having a good position, despite Hero having relatively some success here on the fightings. He's trying to push back, trying to take this castle down. The castle is almost down, guys. With some villagers, Draken can actually repair that. He's pushing Hero back to his base. Here is starting to add some light cavalry, but as I said, light cavalry is not like the best unit to be used. And then, oh my god, damn, the army just got stuck here in the wall, and a small mistake means that you are just gonna lose a lot of shit here to the Halfnies. There comes the light cavalry. They are probably gonna try to snap the Halfnies. They are trying to exploit the lack of army here from Draken. I don't know how many army of those they are actually gonna be taking down. Here is also advancing with his own Halfnies, trying to kill down the Busit wagons. The mobility from the Halfnies is actually saving their asses here. And oh my god. Damn! What a good shot from Draken, taking out several Halfnies from Hera. And as I said, guys, he is already struggling here with the gold. Hero is struggling with the gold, but he's trying to push. He also has a trebuchet armed here, trying to take down this castle. Draken is trying to defend, but I only see Halfnies and no other army replacement for him. I'm truly lacking some army here for Draken. He is trying to take the gold. He is now trying to transition to some spearmen, but he is losing quite some ground, and that can actually be the opening that Hero needs to come back on this game. Such a nice game, guys. Such a nice game. Hero is using his light cavalry to counter raid and get back access to these golds. He's advancing with his Halfnices and even adding extra siege weapons. Now we can see Draken adding some pikemen here to his compositions to try and counter a bit at least the light cavalry and make them less effective. He has several castles and he's still collecting a lot of resources. He does play with massive Halfnices here. There are still some hillside wagons there, but as I said, they are good until page number 2. Where the Halfnices start to strike them down. More and more pikemen eating out the light cavalry, and the Halfnices from Draken are almost all got sniped by the light cavalry. Guys, Hero just operated a small miracle here, taking down the Halfnices using the cavalry. Draken was just way too confident on his units and on his army, and he didn't add enough units to properly defend the Halfnices. So even at a very high cost, these light cavalry are actually killing it, the Halfnices. So yeah, not the best game here for Draken army-wise. Hero with this AR army is doing very good, guys. He's just going for like basic units to try and control the map, like skirmishers, and advancing slowly here with the Halfnies. But honestly, with siege engineers and a bunch of Halfnices, he can just eat the buildings from Draken, and maybe Draken won't have enough time to go for a proper reaction, guys. That's probably the main issue here. Draken might not have enough time to react. Here is just eating out every single one of his buildings, and Draken's not managing to go back on his feet, guys. This is very interesting. He's still trying to drop some wagons. There are more and more light cavs, and even when they do not kill the Halfnies, they are at least forcing the Halfnies to stay on a defensive stance here. They are killing some. Oh my goodness, these light cavalry are just proving to be such a great weapon. They do take down out of the three Halfnieces. Hero is even advancing now forward, taking down the walls with battering runs, trebuchets, Halfnieces. His army is now inside of Draken's base. Unbelievable, guys. Yeah, and Draken calls it. He did die to his opponent, and especially because of the light cavalry sniping the Halfnies. Honestly, I'm gonna give my 2 cents. I think that the Elite Hussite Wagon is one of the best units from the Bohemian, but on this contest, I think that they were just a big mistake, because basically they are not as good as like a hand cannoneer, an arbalest, or even a halberdier to take down light cavalry. And despite being okay versus a skirmisher, they do die way too easily to the enemy Halfnies. I would say that if Draken just kept his position by messing up army, and by army I mean like even skirmishers or some trash units like Hero did, he would actually have more success here. Because once his Halfnies got pressure back, he ended up losing, and Hero was just able to clean out this easily with this death ball of Halfnies. So this is the ultimate Bohemian weapon. This was a very interesting game. Hope you guys enjoy it.